Hi guys, it's Kimberly back with the Twin Flame family. Thanks to those of you who have taken advantage of that $50 for 50-minute special. It's a Twin Flame reading and guidance session, and you can book it right on my website. It's still going to be up there through Sunday, and it can be used towards future appointments, so you just have to book it by Sunday. And it's on the twinflamefamily.com if you want to take advantage of that. It's been good to reconnect with some of you that I've worked with in the past, as well as, connect with some new Twin Flames as well. I wanted to just do a video that kind of touched upon some of the questions that I've been seeing out there and hearing, and see if I can provide you with answers to those questions. And also, if you want to take this as a Q&A opportunity and comment below the video with your questions, I'll try to answer as best as I can. So, Twin Flame process can be confusing. Ascension, you sort of manage your learning with that. There's lots of teachers out there. There's lots of great videos and material, and it's really up to you to want to delve into it. I think sometimes we stand outside of it. We say, yeah, I kind of watched this, or I kind of, learned that. But, I know that when we really get into that ascension process, we totally dig in. So you'll know when you shift like that, because you're going to totally just immerse yourself in the information of it all. And you'll find that as you absorb that information, there'll be rapid growth and expansion, rapid acceleration. So one thing that I keep seeing a lot lately, it's always out there, but especially lately, is I've posted on Facebook, the false twins, the false twin flames. I keep getting comments like, I was in a relationship with my false twin flame, and there is no such thing as a false twin flame. You only have one twin flame. You can have twin souls, lots of soul family and soulmates, but you have one. If you're identifying as a twin flame here today, you've got one other that you split from, right? Way long time ago and eons ago. And these energies split into the two polarities, the masculine and feminine, and you have incarnated as probably both throughout various lifetimes. So the thing about the false twin is it's just really your perception of it. So I would like us to kind of reframe that. I guess what I gather from the false twin phrase or that concept is it always has a really negative vibration to it. And I want to change that, because often, if someone comes in, whether it's a soul karmic relationship to set us up for the twin flame, and we misidentify it, but it's what causes us to stumble upon the concept, we'll look at it that way. It's because you were almost gearing up for, in this relationship, this, whatever it was heartache, or just if something happened, or some sort of karma really played out. And the healing and the learning that comes from that often can set you up with the twin flame who's about to, enter in. The twin flames are symptomatic, okay? And it's very similar to soulmates. And I've said this before in videos, where there are symptoms of a soulmate relationship that are almost exactly identical to twin flames. But I think the difference with the twin flame connection is that, because soulmates, it can be gripping. Soulmates, you'll get the signs and synchronicities. There can be telepathy. There can be all of this. But I think there's just something about the twin flame connection that transcends all of that. It usually feels bigger than anything you've experienced in your life. And it causes you to embark on this journey of learning, healing, exploring all of this, and stepping further into your role as a light worker. So if you are starting your healing in a way that you haven't before, that's a good indicator that you're with a twin flame as well. It's also like the repatterning, as we know, changing the DNA, changing our old beliefs. There's a lot of shifting that happens through the ascension process and through this twin flame experience. But in terms of the romantic connection. What does it feel like? Why is it different as a twin flame? Well, it's absolutely, it's so difficult to discuss, to actually describe, because it absolutely transcends anything that we've known. And it is just the connection, and it is just the feeling around it. It is the connection to our past lives. It is the synchronicities and signs. It is the 5D power, the way you and your twin flame can come together in that higher realm. And the fact that you're tapping into it more than you ever have in your life, meaning trusting your dreams, really opening to the signs, really starting to trust in the connection. Only you can validate that you're in a twin flame connection. So don't rely on your healers, your psychics, to validate that. And if you come to me to validate it, I'll tell you, you're the only one that can validate that. Okay? Most likely you are, or you're in a karmic relationship that's going to set you up for the twin flame. We don't stumble upon this concept or this journey to learn and expand and grow for no reason. We are stumbling upon it because we've been pre-contracted to do so, or we pre-contracted ourselves to do so. And it's our soul's mission. It's our soul's path. And it's supposed to be this way. So for those of you that are struggling with it, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just want to talk about identifying at the beginning, or if you're even into your twin flame connection and you're like, is he really my twin, or is she really my twin flame? It's the doubt that holds you in resistance to more receiving in the connection. So make sure that you don't hold yourself resistant to, you have to actually believe that union is possible for it to happen. But you also can't get so hung up on it that you're waiting and looking at what's not there in the 3D, because that's just going to hold it way far away from you. And that's not how we really manage Ascension. Ascension is about letting go, holding space, sending love, and just getting on our own mission and healing and developing the self-love so that we can have unconditional love for the other person and not want, expect, need, nag, and so on and so forth. And when we feel ourselves becoming agitated, frustrated in that separation, like, I wish he would just, or I wish she would just, that is a big indicator that further surrender is needed, so that you can, like I said, totally immerse yourself in the healing and the self-focus, the self-love. It doesn't mean that you have to forget thinking about your twin flame. It does not mean that you have to, just abandon the, let's say, the thought of union, or that vision for union. Not hold that, but just hold it out here without the attachment of like, when's it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Because the when and how is not up to you. You are on the universe's timeline. And as soon as you line up with all the source energy that's available for you, everything's going to fall into place. And the irony of that is, the reason why it's so hard to do is because we have to get into our own power center fully. And a lot of times we're externalizing, we're looking at the 3D, we're putting our stuff on another, we're wanting, waiting, expecting, that whole thing where it's just trying to control something that we have no control over. So the irony is that once you do surrender, that's when everything does fall into place and start to happen. So I'm going to say that again. Once you do fully surrender, like for real, like not just like I felt it, or like I'm tricking myself into feeling it. No, it's like once you can sustain the surrender, and it takes practice. Once you get there though, it'll be joyful, and like the path will accelerate. And I mean, union, I'm talking communication, I'm talking your own path, your mission, holy moly. Like it can be crazy. In a really beautiful, great, fulfilling way. So don't get caught up in the resistant thinking of how this is never going to happen, and not looking at the lack of what is around you, because that's not going to bring anything closer. And if you're not meant to, and yes, if the question were, Are twin flames meant to come into like a romantic partnership and stay like in a like a 3D marriage? The answer would be not necessarily. You've met your twin flame to spark this growth so that your soul can expand. So coming together in a full-on union like that, it would take two people who are completely individuated souls, whole and healed, to come and play a harmonious union together. And then they would have had to contract that this was going to play out as the romantic union, together. Will your soul always yearn for this person? Yes, but there can be other life partners for you as well. And they may be just around the corner for you. And it's not up for you to determine what or who that is. All it is that you're using the love that you have with your twin flame. You're using the pain that you have been experiencing in this journey to help open you further so that you can expand further. And then once you get into surrender and get in the flow and in the joy, you can really begin to manifest, because you're no longer having all this resistant energy or trying to pattern your life in a way that you can't control. All you can do is put really positive, clear intentions out there and then just let them go. And trust. And this entire journey is about trust. And I'm talking about every single thing I just talked about. Whether it's trusting the very first thing, trusting if you've met your twin flame, trusting yourself. I know this is my twin flame. I can validate that for myself. It is symptomatic. I just know it in my soul. I know it in my gut. I just know it in my heart. I know it. Okay, well, that's one. Two, can you validate also that this is a connection that transcends space and time, that you know the depth of this, and you also know that you believe in a union? Okay, well, trust that then. Trust it, but don't. The key and the hardest part for all of us is to not latch onto it and go, when, how, but just trust. And when you trust, like the trust in knowing I'm at right where I should be, I am in separation so that I can focus on this other stuff. And I'm going to feel good about it every day. Because once you get in the feeling good feeling, everything will start to line up. And the trusting in the union and the trusting in what could potentially be is what is needed. But you also have to still shoot off rockets of desire, as Abraham Hicks would say, for what you want in this lifetime. Okay? It's not about... Because some of you say to me, well, like, this twin flame, it's going to be a while. It feels like until like his or her divorce is final, and I feel like we're going to come into union, but I'm just not sure. I'm tired of waiting. Should I move on? And it's like, the true answer to that is you are not moving on. You cannot break the connection. It's always there and alive, and you're feeling it. All you can do is embrace it. And then let go of the reins. Just let go and just let it fall into place. And in the meantime, do your healing, because that's what's going to accelerate the process. And when you are doing your healing, it's a path. Your self-mastery work is a path to rediscover, like self-discovery, reclaiming your divine feminine, divine masculine traits. Things that you probably abandoned since you were a child, or, regaining confidence in your intuition, trusting your psychic powers, trusting the signs. It's trust. And it's, really takes a lot of trust on every step of the journey. So in all capacities, that's the most important thing that I can drive home to, is surrender and trusting. And one can't happen without the other. So you might say this is a double-edged sword, because I don't know how to get to surrender. Well, you got to trust all of it. All of it. The connection, that you know what it is, your intuition, knowing what the signs mean. As I've said in past videos, developing languages with the signs so that you know and you trust them as you see them, whether they're numbers, letters, words, whatever it is. Songs, life is speaking to us in many different ways. The universe is coming through, spirits coming through all the time. And those of us who are on this enlightened journey are really tapping into it. So it's your duty to trust it and not go, oh, I can't believe this. And the other hard part I feel for most and a lot of the questions are just about the seeing is believing. Like, it feels intangible. So this is also about faith. And you have to have a lot of faith in this journey. Faith in yourself, faith in the universe, faith and trust, and faith that this is going to work out in perfect alignment for you. And also faith that if you hold that space, like keep that flame going, right? And not try to fan the fire, not try to, blow it out. If you just keep that flame going and keep doing you in your life and your healing and all the stuff this is helping you open up to, that your flames can actually mesh again, okay? Because you're both holding these flames. And the more hung up we get on like the little details of 3D, this or that, or he said, she said, or this happened, or this didn't happen, or this was hurt, or whatever, the more we get hung up on that stuff, or like timelines or whatever, the more we're holding ourselves back. So I just say, take deep breaths, dig into your healing, full immersion, find your teachers, find your healers. If you hit like a place where you're feeling uninspired, just find something that inspires you, or re-listen to something that inspires you, and then get the juices flowing again. And it'll come to you when it's time to dig back into it. But it's time to fully dig into our healing, the shadow work, the learning what this process is, and managing it. It's up to you to manage your ascension. You can wallow, you can stay stuck in the mud, you can stay in the pain, or you can get into the healing and get joyful. And that's where surrender is, and that's where the trust is. And it's also a confidence building thing. So any of us who are battling with our own insecurities, this is a huge, huge confidence booster, self-esteem booster. You're loving yourself again. You're trusting in yourself. All of this, trusting in the signs, trusting in your inner voice, learning to love yourself from childhood, those little child wounds, and hugging your child self, and all the things that we do in this ascension healing process are for us. It's not really about the romantic connection with our twin flame. It's just that beautiful love and that beautiful connection sparks this. And the idea is that, yes, the potential is out there for us to become whole individuals, to become healed and enlightened, and to ascend to a place where we can unite that flame and sustain a union. Somebody asked, this is another question and answer, so I'm going to keep going on this video. It's kind of long, but somebody asked, are you in union with your twin flame? And I would say, me and my twin flame met. We separated while he played out karmic relationship, and we came back into union, if that's how you deem it, relatively quickly, because I managed the process well. It accelerated things because I did all those things I just told you. It accelerated. But I believe that I still didn't have enough time. Okay. And that's why I promise you, those of you that are like, oh, I just want this separation. It's been like a year or two. Like, oh my gosh, don't wish for your separation to be over like sooner than it is, because it will happen as it should. And in fact, I sort of knew that I wasn't fully ready. I got really happy in this 5D space. I got really happy in the working on myself, in the surrender. I was also elated when he came back into my life. And then when you come into union, however, since he was still healing from a lot of stuff, childhood stuff, that past relationship, and I was still in the middle of my healing work, we were not two healed, whole individuals yet. And it makes no difference who's further along or who's more awakened or whatnot. We're not there yet. So it has not been harmonious. And it's been difficult to sustain. And I know that I'm here to deliver that message, that I'm actually experiencing this so that I can convey that to you. So know that there can be discord, a lot more running, a lot more, fighting and mirroring. And if you come back too soon, like if it's not that we forced or manipulated it, I think it was orchestrated this way. And partly, I think it was orchestrated this way so that I could get the experience and teach it to you. And I'm still figuring out what this means for us in a long-term picture. But it's like really that there's not much left brain analytical stuff to figure out. I'm just like letting it unfold still. But I can say that it's difficult for us to sustain a union. And there may be a separation. And I think I'd said that back in like December, and we didn't end up going into a full separation, but I just think it's lurking, and it's okay. And even Venus retrograde periods are really good times to be in separation, to go into separation, to, if you feel like this is happening and it doesn't feel right to you, just go with it, because these are times of reassessment, really learning lessons and reevaluating. And there are some things that I'm reevaluating right now that are helping me like reignite my passions, reignite what I want that's kind of gotten lost in all of this stuff, reignite my own desires, my own passions. And that time and space is needed. So it's okay. All right. And so that's where I'm at. I wanted to let you guys know, and I hope this helped. If you have any other questions that I can possibly help you answer, just comment in the video below, and you can book a session or join us on our March class series. We've got this Thursday, Eternal Flame, talking about signs, synchronicities, how to surrender, all the stuff that we just touched upon here. We'll really dig into class this evening. And then the last week, we'll be talking about union, how to sustain it, what it means, mission, and all of that. So you can sign up online, thetwinflamefamily.com, click on the group sessions or private if you want to schedule a reading or a twin flame guided session. All right. Well, be well. Hope you're having a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.